The small town of Ravenswood was shrouded in an eerie mist, its residents whispering tales of an ancient house on the outskirts. The once grand mansion stood as a testament to the town's darker past, its grandeur slowly being consumed by the passing of time. The wind howled through the empty halls, a mournful sigh that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the house seemed to come alive, its walls exuding an otherworldly presence that drew in the curious and the foolhardy. The air grew thick with an unsettling energy, heavy with the scent of decay and rot. The trees surrounding the house twisted and groaned, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out to snatch the unwary. The night was a time of dark magic, when the veil between worlds was at its thinnest. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the house, illuminating the shadows that danced upon its walls. It was on one such night that the family of four, the Smiths, made their way to the house, eager to leave the hustle and bustle of city life behind and start anew. Their excitement was palpable as they stepped inside, their footsteps echoing off the walls as they explored the labyrinthine corridors. The air inside was stale, heavy with the weight of years, but they tried to shake off the feeling of unease that settled in the pit of their stomachs. Their children, Emily and James, ran ahead, their laughter and shouts echoing through the halls, while their parents, Mark and Sarah, brought up the rear. As the night wore on, the family settled into their new home, the children tucked safely into their beds, while Mark and Sarah sat in the living room, trying to unwind after a long day. But it wasn't long before they began to hear it, a low, whispery voice that seemed to come from all directions at once. At first, they thought it was just the wind or the creaks and groans of the old house, but as the whispers grew louder, they knew something was amiss. The voice was soft and raspy, like the gentle rustle of dry leaves. It spoke in hushed tones, but the words were clear as day, a litany of names, a roll call of the dead. Mark and Sarah exchanged a nervous glance, their hearts racing with fear. They tried to tell themselves it was just their imagination, but the voice seemed to grow louder, more insistent. As the night wore on, the whispers grew more intense, the voice speaking with a growing sense of urgency. Mark and Sarah tried to ignore it, to convince themselves that it was just their minds playing tricks on them, but they couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching them, something that didn't want them there. The children began to stir, their eyes wide with fear as they listened to the whispers. Emily and James clung to each other, their small bodies shaking with terror. Mark and Sarah tried to comfort them, but they knew they were powerless against the forces that were at work. As the first light of dawn began to creep into the sky, the whispers finally stopped. The house fell silent, its walls seeming to breathe a collective sigh of relief. Mark and Sarah exchanged a nervous glance, their hearts still racing with fear. They knew they had to get to the bottom of this, to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within the walls of the house. As they crept through the darkened halls, they stumbled upon a hidden room, tucked away behind a tattered tapestry. Inside, they found a series of old journals, their pages yellowed with age. The writer, a woman named Elizabeth, had lived in the house decades ago, and her words told a tale of horror and tragedy. As they delved deeper into the journals, they discovered that Elizabeth had been driven mad by the whispers, her mind consumed by the dark forces that dwelled within the house. She had tried to flee, but it was too late, the house had her, body and soul. And as Mark and Sarah read the final entry, they knew they were in grave danger. The last line of the journal read, "They're coming for me, and they'll take you too, if you stay." And as they turned to flee, the whispers began once more, this time speaking their names, Mark, Sarah, Emily, James. The family's screams were drowned out by the sound of the wind, as the house seemed to come alive, its walls closing in around them, trapping them forever in its grasp.